Thank you. All righty. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We are doing our athletics fireside chat, and we have a wonderful fireside chat for you today. And the topic is create an opportunity magnet through social media branding. And just we're going to soon introduce our speaker, Zumana Kita, but before doing that, just to give you a little brief overview of what Athletics is. It's a nonprofit organization that helps the community, and we see that it's very conscientious of its role in society and aware that humanity's well-being should be at the core of our technical progress. Athletics has an education program, Data for Hope, where they help individuals who are interested in the data analytics field. And through this program, we have lots of students who go on to have very successful careers in data analytics. So that's just a little bit about the Athletics nonprofit organization. This next slide just kind of gives an outline throughout the year. There are several different programs involved in training, and along with training curriculum, we have these fireside chats to encourage individuals. In this calendar, I won't go through these, but we just kind of outline throughout the year what the students will be working towards. And now we come to the moment to do a brief introduction. We have the pleasure to have with us today Zumana Kita. And Zumana is a senior data analyst for International Finance Corporation. And he is also a social media content creator. So now, Zumana, that is just my brief introduction of you, but I know you have a very impressive background. And so I would not do it justice to go through that. So now I would love to turn that over to you for you to share your screen and give a full introduction on your background.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the brief introduction, Marlene. Can you all see my screen?
It's coming.
Okay.
Yes, we see the screen.
Wonderful. It's loading a little bit. How about now? Everything is fine? Can you see?
Yes, we see it.
All right. So thank you, first of all, to the athletics team, especially Melissa and Marlene, for the opportunity. And when Melissa first reached out to me, I did not even hesitate, because I think this is a great cause and also a great way to, provide my expertise to help other people out there. So for me, I'm Zumana Keita, senior data scientist at International Finance Corporation. But before getting into that field of working, I had two main masters. The first one in computer science with concentration in machine learning from France in Paris. And after that, I worked for a couple of years before moving in the US for a second master's degree, this time in data science. And I'll walk you through my journey so far from 2016 to now. So in 2016, I was working as a software developer in a consulting company in France. And then I moved into IBM to start my career as a data scientist and machine learning engineer. This is where I really got into the field of AI and machine learning. And then I left IBM for a small company, a startup based in France, but also they have offices in Montreal, Canada. The company's goal was to create sustainable AI solutions for multiple companies, not only in France, but also in Switzerland and other countries in Europe. And right after that, I decided to leave that startup to join another company called Lincoln, where I was a machine learning engineer. All this journey was in France. And then I decided to move further in starting the process of creating content creation on first on Medium and also on LinkedIn. And now I'm also creating content on YouTube as well. So as you can see, all these companies, the only one that I did not get through LinkedIn is the first one, Group Open 2016. And the remaining companies, I have got all of these through LinkedIn from social media branding. This is just to tell you how powerful it can be to have a good brand on social media. And moving further, social media, before getting into the tips, because I know that the goal of this chat is to provide you guys some tips to have a great brand on social media. But before getting into that level, I want to provide some information about the benefits on having a social media brand for both personal and professional growth. First of all, like I'll be making an emphasis on LinkedIn in terms of social media platform. So like LinkedIn is a place for recruiters. We can have a lot of recruiters on social media. So if there are recruiters somewhere, that means that you should be there if you're looking for opportunities, because this is where recruiters are for. If we don't have recruiters, then we won't be having people looking for opportunities, those candidates. And the second one is that LinkedIn can be a great way to showcase many additional information that you cannot necessarily include in your resume. Like sometimes when you apply to a job description, some people might tell you that having a 2 pages resume can be too much. So if you cannot put all those relevant information on the resume, sometimes there are some information that you would like to include in your resume, but unfortunately, by including them, you'll cross the 2 pages or 3 pages resume. And this will not be beneficial when looking for a job or applying to some job requirements. And LinkedIn can be a great way to showcase those skill sets, especially when you worked on a given project. Sometimes you want to tell more about the project you work on, and you cannot provide all the details on your resume. Then you can include all this information on your LinkedIn. And also, I have not seen someone has applied to a job description with a resume, including job like recommendations from your previous job or also recommendations from your professors. All this information can be included on your LinkedIn profile. And also, when you attend a conference, sometimes attending a conference, you might meet like-minded people, very interesting people. And unfortunately, after the conference, you lose everything in terms of contact with those people. So LinkedIn can be a great way to reconnect with those people as well. And for those looking in the future to get into the entrepreneurship, LinkedIn has been it has never been easier to start a business like it is now on LinkedIn, because you can reach out to people and also have a mailing list with those people that you can reach out in the future to sell your services. And I want to also combine LinkedIn with another platform, which is Medium. So 80% of my former managers first reach out to me after reading some of my articles on Medium. And this is to tell you that like writing content also not necessarily on Medium, but also on other blogging platform that you can use to showcase your expertise and also convey whatever you have in terms of idea to share with the community. And this is also a great way to highlight how relevant or how involved you are in the community, because getting back to the community can be done through writing on blogging, like blogging platforms like Medium. And also the reason why I'm emphasizing on Medium is that in 2022, Medium was the most popular blogging platform, and it has at least 63 million registered users by May 2023. So where do all these readers go? This is just to tell that there is a place for everybody, anybody to write and also reach out a minimum percentage of those users easily and even freely. And like writing on Medium also is an effective way to reach a vast audience and drive traffic to LinkedIn, because sometimes some people are not necessarily into LinkedIn, and when they read your Medium article or your blog, then they might be interested in knowing who is behind that relevant content, and they will be keen on reaching out to you and have that connection. And last but not the least is that anyone can start writing on Medium, because there is this misconception that writing on Medium is not for everybody. Like everybody can start writing on Medium. If you have a Gmail account, an email, internet connection, then you can start writing on Medium and even like get paid for the work that you're doing. And the combination of these two platforms can be a great way to create an outstanding brand on LinkedIn. I'm speaking from fact, because the two main platforms that I'm using are LinkedIn and Medium, and they help me get a lot of opportunities. All right, and today I'll be sharing some tips and tricks for like building a strong brand, to help you build some strong brand. The first one is to optimize your profile for search, because like when you have a LinkedIn profile, the first thing is to optimize your profile. So what I mean by optimizing your profile is to have a professional picture, because I might not be interested in reaching out to someone or connecting with someone who does not have a professional picture, who does not even have a picture on the LinkedIn profile. So this is one of the way of optimizing your profile. And also provides a brief description of what you are providing in terms of service. If you are providing a service, or if you are looking for a job, give a brief description of why you are on LinkedIn, because we all are on LinkedIn for a specific reason. We don't just show up on a platform and be like a ghost. We are there because we can get something on, also provide a value to the community. So make sure that you provide a brief description of the service that you are providing, and also what you are looking for on LinkedIn. So that's the first thing. And the second one is create content from your blog or others. The example that I gave before, my case, for instance, I create content from Medium. Whenever I have an article idea, I share my articles. I take a part of my article from Medium that I share on LinkedIn. And also sometimes you might not have a Medium platform or a blogging platform. What you can do is to like just share someone else content, because that's what I have started doing when I first joined LinkedIn. Before I had my Medium platform, what I was doing is to register to newsletters, and whenever I receive an interesting content, then I share those content on LinkedIn by citing the source of those content. So not everything has to come from you. It can also come from others, and then you reformulate those to share on LinkedIn. But never forget to cite the source if it's not from you. And the other way to having a great brand is engage actively with others' content. You are sharing content on LinkedIn. Some people are engaging with those content. Why not you on your turn engage with others' content? Because it can show interest on you, like from other people sharing those content. And also sometimes by just commenting someone else's content, if let's say Melissa shared an interesting content on LinkedIn and I like and comment those like that post, someone else might see, because like it can be a psychological shift. Someone else might see that Zumana has commented that post from Melissa. So who is Zumana? And that person might reach out to me or just send me a connection request on LinkedIn based on point number one, what I've mentioned, optimize your profile search. From my profile, that person can see, okay, Zumana is providing these type of services. This is what he's doing on LinkedIn. If it matches with my expectation on LinkedIn, then that person might reach out to me. Then if there is no optimization of your profile, even not a profile picture, then you stand no chance on getting additional followers or potential people to be part of your network. And also, like LinkedIn has provided this option of sending an invite to someone. Like I'll say that this is not the optimal way to engaging with someone on LinkedIn. Don't just send a connection request on LinkedIn, because it's an easier, like it's the easiest way to reach out to someone, but not the optimal way of reaching out to that person. When sending a connection request to someone, there is an option to provide a brief, like I think it's 300 characters. You can briefly introduce yourself. And one of the tricks that can help as well is to ask that person if they can guess what you are doing on LinkedIn from reading your profile. And that person can provide a genuine review and also feedback on your profile. And building a brand is a consistency game. I like this part because some people might start creating content on social media platforms 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, and then become like a ghost. Like that's not how you create a good brand on social media. When creating a brand on social media, it's a consistency game. You have to keep creating content. You have to keep creating content because people are following you because based on the value that you are providing. It's not because of your pretty face or because of your location. It's because of the value that you are providing on LinkedIn. And this can be tough, like being consistent on social media, mainly on LinkedIn, can be tough. Sometimes you can have an idea. You might say, okay, in this month, I will share 10 articles. I will like talk about 10 articles. But at the end of like the second week, you're running out of ideas. So how do you do? Like, what do you do in this type of scenario? Like something that works is to go back on your previous post, the previous publications that you have made, and look at what has worked, what has not worked. And you can see that from the analytics part provided by LinkedIn. And if you see that one of your post has provided more insight, then you can republish that post. You don't have to like publish different articles or different contents day one different from day two and so on. No, you can republish the article or the post that you have shared on day one on day 15 by just reformulating. This can be a good way of not running out of ideas. And also, don't be Mr. or Miss Everything. Don't like be on LinkedIn trying to cover all the topics. If I am, my brain is about providing information about like data science, machine learning, it might not make sense to talk about how to build like the best body shape on like at the gym or stuff, things like this. So I think that it's really important to define your brand, focus on your expertise. And I also like this saying from I believe one of the martial arts expert will say, I do not fear someone who like practice 10,000 kicks once. I fear the person who practice one kick 10,000 times. And if your expertise is data science, machine learning, focus on that area of expertise. There are so many things that we can tell about data science, machine learning. Don't try to diversify and getting out of the scope of your brain, at the risk of being lost and not being like providing information, like relevant information to your community. Another one is think professional. Like no one wants to be around an unprofessional person. It can be easier for any one of us to be behind of our screen and throwing, rubbish on other people's comments. This is easy, but also an easier way to destroy your reputation, your reputation. And this, unfortunately, in the long term, is not going to help you. And finally, like it's important as well to build a distribution list, then build later whatever you want to build. What I mean here is like, let's say that you have 10K followers on Medium, and those 10K followers might not have a Medium account available in a year. So it means that you have lost one follower on Medium. So if we try to increase that numbers of followers who try to like just decide to block or like unsubscribe on Medium, it means that those people, you will get benefit from the presence only when they have the Medium account. And that's also the same for LinkedIn. Someone having a LinkedIn account might not have a LinkedIn account in the near future or even in the long future. So a good way to keep in touch with those people is to create a distribution list. It means that whenever like the person close the account, you still have the email. Then if you have 10K followers and in the future, those 10K follower reduces to even 2 followers, you will at least have the email. And in the future, if you want to create something different, create even your startup or build or even sell a product, you can use that distribution list to reach out to those people, even though they're not on Medium or LinkedIn anymore. So these are some of the tips or tricks that I wanted to share with you today. Right.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was great. I tried my best to take some notes. I thought I knew what you were going to share, but you shared some tips and tricks that I have not heard from anyone. Some of the things that I captured from what you said was to make sure that your LinkedIn profile provides the reason that you're on LinkedIn. So you want to make sure your profile lets everyone understand what you're there for, whether it's for sales or your interest in data analytics like this, your interest in nonprofits such as athletics. Another is I saw where you said you must have a photo. And Melissa will probably have a big smile on her face because when we met, she goes, Marlene, why do you not have a photo on your profile? And I said, I don't want one. And I fussed about it until eventually I added a profile with a twist. You only get to see the picture if you connect with me. But see, I still did it. I met Melissa halfway.
Oh.
And you said to share content, and if it is not your own content, to be sure it's okay to do it, but to be sure that you cite the source. And that is
Absolutely.
very, very good point. And another one that I saw, that to make sure to like and comment on profiles, but not just to do that, but things that you're really passionate about. and that will draw like-minded people to your profile. So thank you
Mm,
so much for that.
you're welcome.
I'll go ahead and share my screen. We're gonna now I will ask a few questions that I've prepared in advance, and then we will also go to the audience after these questions. Let me just to get additional questions. So let me go ahead and share the last slide. And my screen should be sharing right now. And the first question that I have for you, Zamana, again,
Mhm.
thank you for that great presentation. The first question is, well, I have to tailor my first question because it was, is it necessary to have a social media presence? Now, you already covered the importance of that, but how do employers and recruiters view people who are not on social media, in your opinion?
Well, I think that it's good not to be judgmental because everybody have their own reason of not being on social media. And I would like to answer also your question. I'll not say it's necessary to have a social media presence, but it can be real beneficial. Like in today's area where like we have digital content everywhere. And also many employers view social media profile as an extension of your resume because your resume might not provide enough information. But when you have those social media profile, it can provide them with enough information to judge the relevance of your application if you're looking for a job or whatever reason you have applied or whatever reason they are looking for that profile. And not having that social media profile is, according to me, a missed opportunity because why not take advantage of those opportunities rather than, letting them go? But no um recruiters will be, from my opinion, will be judging you for not having a social media profile.
Awesome. Sorry, I kind of lost my place reading a message. Give me a second. Okay. All righty. And thank you so much for answering that. And
Okay.
the next question I have is, well, in addition to what you have already mentioned, is there anything else that is a key details that we should be including on our social media profiles in order to attract attention?
Yes, in addition to your professional picture, I will also say if you have previously worked with some managers or like in case of having professional experience, because not everybody have professional experience, or if you worked in the past with some professors, you can also request recommendations. Recommendations worked very well on LinkedIn as well, and they can provide you with some recommendations that can improve your profile as well. And if you have as well some blogging platforms, like in my case, it's Medium, provide the link to those information on your LinkedIn profile so that recruiters can have more insights on what you're capable of or whatever extra activity that you are doing. Those can be also helpful. Not only staying focused on your because some people go to school and they just provide information on their degree on whatever activities they have done during the master's or bachelor's year, but you can also provide information like extracurricular activities, the volunteering that you have done, even sports that you've done. Did you run a marathon in like last season or whatever activity you did? Those can be showing information to recruiters that you're not a person who's just focused on studying or just working, but you have also other life than that there. You can also show that you are an open-minded person to provide.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And another question is, should we put our full resume on social media? Is that recommended?
Well, from my experience and the interaction I had with other people, yes, it's recommended to provide all this information on your social media. Like I'll like precise on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a professional social media. Yeah, you can provide this information on LinkedIn because there is no limitation in terms of the number of year experience that you can provide, the number of information that you can provide on LinkedIn. But like you can provide those information, it's considered as an extension of your resume. Since your resume cannot provide enough information to those recruiters, then you're free to provide any information that you can have from those resume to your social media, in this case, LinkedIn profile, to provide more details. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And my final question is, with so many social media profiles out there,
Mm-hmm.
how can our students stand out and brand themselves
Mm-hmm.
for all these other millions of profiles on LinkedIn?
Well, I think the first thing is consistency because there are so many other social media platforms. The key number one thing is consistency, being consistent on sharing content on social media because it's not about the quantity of social media you subscribe to. It's about the quality of the social media you subscribe to, the followers or the people following you. And yeah, that's the number one thing. And the second thing that I think is important as well is to connect with like-minded people because not everything, every idea can come from you. You can get inspiration from other people. If someone is sharing about large language models on like that, this is something I might not be aware of, but I can get inspiration from that person's content to create my own. Yeah, this is what innovation is all about. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just sometimes observing what's being done outside to get inspiration from those things to push up yourself in terms of opportunities. Yeah, those are some of the things that I can uh, emphasize on.
Excellent points. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
At this point of the meeting, at this point of the fireside chat, we're opening up the floor to any additional questions. Does anyone have any questions for Zomana? Well, Zamana, I'll go at one. If I don't see any. If anyone has any, you can just go ahead and speak up. I'll ask one in the interim. That's not planned. You mentioned that it's okay to. You mentioned that it was okay to repost and you repost something that you posted 15 days ago, and just kind of revamp it and post it again. Uh,
Mhm.
do do people sometimes think, if they see it's very similar to what it was before, do they view it as old, stale content?
I don't believe so because I've been doing this for years now. If you reformulate, because it can be a reminder for others. And also when you are in social media, new people are coming all the time. You know, when you have posted something 2 weeks ago, like someone who followed you today might not have access to whatever you have shared 2 weeks ago. And it's beneficial for both sides. People following you can be a reminder for those people. And for new people coming into your network, it can also be like something new for them as well.
Nice.
Hi,
Melissa?
Zomana.
Hi,
This is
Akila.
Julian. I am super honored to have heard from you today. The information that you shared was really inspiring because I was once one of the people who was like, I will never get on social media. No, you know, and had all of those negative thoughts. But I love that you have been able to not only turn it for your benefit, but it sounds like you like doing it, like you like sharing that side of yourself. You like being open with your audience. And that makes me feel a little bit better because that's the kind of person I am outside of social media. And knowing that we can, like, we're invited to be ourselves on social media, especially on LinkedIn, where you feel like you have to wear, you know, your suit all the time. And, you know, it's a thank you so much for your words today. I
You're
did have
welcome.
one question kind of relating to the question that was just asked a few seconds ago about sharing on social media. I, of course, with the help of Athletics, have started to share more on LinkedIn than I would have, including reposting other posts from people that I follow or institutions that I follow, but it's typically from posts that are on LinkedIn. Would you recommend when we do post content that is not our own, would you recommend going outside of LinkedIn to get that content? Or is it okay to simply repost LinkedIn posts all the time? Or is there a benefit in I guess showing that we've researched something and we want to share it?
Yes, absolutely. You can get content from any other platforms. Something that I have mentioned before, like during the introduction, is to subscribe to newsletters because those newsletters can provide you with ideas of topics that you can share about. Like there are some newsletters ideas that I will share probably with Melissa later on and Marlene. Like every day you'll receive information, like new ideas on your topic of interest. Like if you are in data science, you'll receive new topics ideas from in the area of data science. And with those, like this kind of database from your end, you can filter whatever you feel comfortable with sharing. And you can do that. And if there is a new topic that you do not feel comfortable with, you can create an Excel sheet. That's what I've done. I have an Excel sheet where I put the topic that I want to cover, and from the newsletters, provide the link of those topics. And then I kind of provide them in decreasing order of difficulty. Is this top am I more comfortable with this topic? If it's the case, I can quickly write an article about it or just share on LinkedIn. If it's a topic that I don't feel comfortable with, I might give myself enough time to do more research. Because if you post on LinkedIn, be ready as well to enter comments because you share about something that you know feel comfortable commenting. But to be able to comment something, you have to know about that thing, at least a minimum information about that thing. But if you don't have enough information, you did not do enough research, that might not be like interesting. To having a comment that takes 15 days to have a feedback, it's not interesting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. And thank you for the extra caveat that when you do post, be ready to speak to whatever you post, even if it's not my own words, but whatever I post, I need to be able to talk about that too. Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Thanks
You're
for your
welcome.
question, Akila. Awesome. And we have a question in the chat, and it's asks, can you be on social media and be an introvert?
Yes. Yes, definitely you can. Like I am the living example of that, you know. Social media is a way of expression for anybody. You can start small. For instance, when I was starting my YouTube channel, I was sharing content, recording videos, but I was not showing my face. And like after a couple of months, then I felt comfortable of showing my face to my audience on YouTube. You can start small and gradually provide like ads, new features. Like if you not feel comfortable showing your face on YouTube, the case of YouTube, it can take you couple of months, couple of weeks. But also something that can be helpful is thinking about the benefits you'll get from getting outside of your comfort zone. Because if you're an introvert, I'm not showing my face, for instance, on YouTube. What will be the benefit of showing my face compared to not showing my face? Like one of the things could be, what if I get like an amazing opportunity tomorrow to speak into a conference, but I don't feel comfortable showing my face, and I don't feel comfortable even for this opportunity, for instance. If I did not feel comfortable showing my face to people, then that I will be missing this opportunity. And some of the great opportunities that we have in the future are the kind of accumulation of those small wins, I will say, that reach out us, to the next level. Just think about the benefits of going out of your comfort zone. Like we said, nothing great comes from staying in your comfort zone. You have to go out of your comfort zone. And also, like when you're on social media, just remind yourself that everybody has a messy home. Nobody is going to be judging yourself. You can be having or seeing great profile pictures, but everybody can have a bad day. Everybody can go through a difficult time, but it's not a reason why you should not, promote yourself on social media and all the benefits that go with.
Thank you. And just like you said, you're talking to one. I'm also living proof. I'm an introvert. Most people don't even think so, but you come out of your comfort zone to do things, and you're happy about that. And you can have that as your superpower, right? So you can still be that introvert, but you do what's necessary.
Absolutely.
Such as public speaking, right? That's something that's
Mhm.
very difficult for introverts, but yet and still, when we have a project, we do it because we need to. So I think that was Mary who asked that question. There are a lot of introverts that are on social media, and they find that way, that their inner superpower, in order to network and get those jobs, sell your business.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and we have there's so many questions that were taking place in the chat that I didn't even see. We have another one.
Mhm.
Do you recommend joining LinkedIn groups?
Yes, LinkedIn group is one of the greatest ways of, connecting. When I've mentioned like connecting with like-minded people, it can be done through joining a group. Like when you are alone in your corner, it can be, yeah, it's easier. Like one of the things that are easier is staying alone. But when you join a group, then you can find new ideas of pushing or even encouraging yourself to going out of that comfort zone. And yeah, people are sharing new ideas all the time, and that mainly happen on LinkedIn groups. Yeah, you can definitely join LinkedIn groups. And also when you share, sometimes when you might be new to LinkedIn, you share an article, you might not have enough followers, a lot of followers, because you are new. But when you share that content on LinkedIn, it might not get enough attention, enough engagement. But when you join a group and you share that content, there is already an audience, like thousands of people on that group. And sharing on those groups can provide you with more attention and more followers to keep up your LinkedIn profile to the next level. And
That
that's
is
something I definitely recommend. And also even for opportunities, because in a LinkedIn group, you can have people of different profiles. I remember that I was in a LinkedIn group that was purely technical, but there was a recruiter who reached out to me, for a job interview. And yeah, don't just tell yourself that LinkedIn groups are for people interested in data science. Those people can be both technical and also recruiters, because it can be also an easier way for recruiters to find talents on those groups.
nice. This is great dialogue.
I just
I'm loving it. Go ahead,
I
Melissa.
just wanted to add something, that the question about LinkedIn groups, I was just waiting for it to be asked, because I actually met Zumana through, like we became very close through actually a LinkedIn group. I think it was Black Data Scientists. That's
Absolutely.
when we met, and that's when, I got to get to know him better, just be part of his journey and see him grow and become. Now I just like, I need his advice. So that's what I was like, let me get him here so he can give the advice and I can also listen. And, me too, I was able to have an opportunity through the same LinkedIn group. Someone come and they were like, oh, I like what you're saying. I want you to do a workshop and I'm going to pay you. So definitely joining LinkedIn group will be great. But I just had one question. Just when you talked about how you got your position, many of your other position through LinkedIn, how
Mhm.
exactly did that happen? What do you think you did exactly to be able to grab those positions, and what happened? That would be my
So,
question.
those position, great question. Thank you, Melissa. And those opportunities were mainly driven from external sources, for Medium, for instance, because I write a lot about technical content. And someone read my articles on Medium because I also provide my LinkedIn profile through my Medium so that it can drive more connections. And after reading my content on Medium, then they reach out to me. Oh, I read this article, and it's very similar to a use case that I'm currently working on. I think that you can be a great profile for this. I did not even do interview. Then we went straight to like meeting the other people and then hiring process. And so yeah, that's one of the greatest way of having those opportunities. And in some of your cases, you might not even have those Medium profiles set it up already, but just keep content, like creating content on LinkedIn, like be consistent, because consistency can provide you with a lot of opportunities. People at the beginning might not notice you because when you share something, you might have 1 like, 1 month later, 10 likes, but being consistent, people will start noticing you. Oh, this person shares contents all the time. It might not even be because of the content that you are sharing. It might be because of your consistency, because the consistency is one of the greatest qualities that is required on companies. When you're working on the projects, not everything is going to be great. You might be going through tough times. Then your consistency of looking for solutions can help the team get the better solution. Yeah, it's not all about sharing content, like finding the best content, but being consistent on sharing those contents.
Thank you. Thanks, Melissa, for
Okay.
asking that question. Great. This is, I'm glad this is recorded because I'm going to have to go back and watch it. So many great points, really. Is there a cost for Medium? Because I've never heard of it before.
Is my what? Sorry, can you repeat that one
Is
time?
there a cost for that blog site that you talked about, Medium?
A cost?
Yes.
There is a cost if you're only a reader, because those creating content should be rewarded. Then if you are a creator, then there is no cost. You are the one getting the benefit.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice. I
And there
like.
is no cost of registering, of having a Medium account. Just an email or Gmail, just subscribe, and then there are some steps that you can go through, and then register to the Medium Partner Program, because that is the program that will help you start earning.
Oh, nice. And just to piggyback off of what you both were saying about posting content, especially like say in LinkedIn groups, sometimes you might think no one's listening, right? You
Mhm.
like I sometimes, I'll be honest, I'll go in a LinkedIn group and I sincerely ask questions for things that I want answers for, right? But I think a lot of times people are so used to people posting a question because like it's clickbait sort of, that you answer the question and then they go, boom, they pounce with something, a sale or something like that. So there's times I don't get answers, but since this is an analytics type, a data analytics organization, look at the analytics on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has tons of analytics. And the other day I posted a question, not one person answer, but it said I had 500 views. So
Wow. Yeah.
people are actually looking, and don't worry about so much that, oh, no one answered, and don't be discouraged. I had a LinkedIn group a very long time ago. I don't have it anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. And I post a lot. And I didn't always get, people commenting or responding. And after a few years, I decided to close the group down and said, you know what? No one cares. I'm going to close it down. And so I sent out a group notification saying, hey, everyone. I think it was about 700 members or something like that. Hey, the group's going to be closed. All of a sudden, the quiet introverts started sending me messages not to close the group. No, we really encouraged. Then I realized you had a lot of people who were afraid of speaking up, but they enjoyed the
Yes,
content. So I only shared it to say,
absolutely,
encourage you.
absolutely,
Yeah, keep on posting regardless. Was there anyone that
absolutely.
had maybe
And
one final question? Or go ahead, Zamana.
yeah,
Go ahead.
just to jump on what you've mentioned, sometimes some people just like they do not even like or comment your content on LinkedIn, but sometimes they can just send you an email saying, "Oh, what you are doing on LinkedIn is great, keep it up. But why don't you like or comment?" Like there are some people like that. They don't comment or like your content, but they, LinkedIn provide analytics saying, okay, your content had this number of engagement. It means that, it has been able to reach this number of people. So yeah, this can be also relevant in terms of content creation.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. And also, one other thing is when you're creating content on LinkedIn as well, there is an option of creating a poll. Sometimes you just don't have an idea, but you might be doubting between different ideas. Just create a poll and ask for people's feedback. Which topic do they want you to cover in the future? And this can also help you. People can answer and also comments and can help you have ideas as well.
Right. Melissa, did you have any final thoughts
No,
before?
there are more questions, and I was just wondering if Zumana will be able to stay around if you have time for the couple more
Sure.
questions that you have here. Okay. So I guess we have Sam Ray asking, she has too many questions. The first one is, what are the challenges of being a content creator on social media in terms of vulnerability? Okay.
Mhm.
And then what are the things that we should be careful of? I guess that would be her first question.
Mhm.
How much can we be vulnerable on the LinkedIn? And also what things should we be careful of when we are
Well, I
trying to be
think
vulnerable?
I think that when you're creating content on LinkedIn or other platform, is just be yourself, because
Mm.
it's easier to jump on people's requests when they comment something based on your post. It's just being yourself, because if you try to capture the identity that's not yours, not only it's going to frustrate yourself, but also be always questioning yourself, like, what if this thing happened, what will I be doing? Since it's not yourself, then you'll be also like asking questions on how can I do this, how can I do that. But being yourself it's a natural process. Whenever you have a content, make it like simple. The simplest way you can do it is to go through your inner self and do things the simplest way. Yeah, so that's my answer to that.
Thank you so much. So her second question was, what are your tips and tricks to identify a scam job offers via LinkedIn? And after that, we have a question by Kaden and then Mary.
Mhm.
So we probably gonna stop.
A scam job, I haven't like identified these type of jobs, but sometimes when there is a job, is to look at the company posting that job. When you have the company posting that job, look at the company reputation on LinkedIn, because some company, if you see company with one like I would say one employees, or like you have even 10 employees and 80% of 70% of those people do not even have a profile picture, sometimes that's a red flag for a job description as well. And when someone posts a job description on LinkedIn, sometimes there's a profile of those people, like the person who posted that job description on LinkedIn. You can reach out to that person to have more insight on like who that person is, or even reach out to someone else working on that company to have more information. So those are some of the ways, some strategies that you can go through to identify those scams.
So let's ask the question from Kaden. So for someone who just started on LinkedIn, how can you ask for endorsements for your connections?
Well, honestly, you cannot endorse, like request endorsement from connection, someone you have not worked with. That's my honest view of, like, we request endorsement for a job that you have done. If you request an endorsement for someone you have never, like, that's your even first starting on LinkedIn, and you request someone for endorsement, like, getting a good brand is not a microwave process. You just have to be consistent, be patient. Opportunities will come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess Mary Ada had another question, Mary A. Are there people on LinkedIn not posting?
Sarah, can you repeat that?
Are there people on LinkedIn not posting? Because I think before when Marlene was talking about, people now asking her, please don't stop don't close. Are there people who are not posting on LinkedIn?
Yeah, your question is if there are some people who do not post at all on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are some.
Yes.
Yeah, there can be some people like that because, people are who they are. Not everybody wants to post about everything. Some people can be just resharing content if they like your content, and then they click reshare and done. They'll not come up with their own research to share content on LinkedIn. But yeah, there are people who might not be interested in sharing content.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say that I was one like that. So I only actually liked people, posts. I just liked the post. And then, unfortunately, when I started volunteering for athletics, with some of the things that I had to do for athletics, I had to be on social media, trying to recruit people, trying to get information. And so now it's just like, I do it now, not as consistent, which is one thing that I know I have to be more consistent and things of the sort. I don't know if there are any more questions from anyone else. Okay, no more question. But so before we leave, I always wanted to ask you this question, not always, but recently. So you had your post that you made about your sister, which was a lovely post and just incredible. I almost had tears in my eyes. I was like, can my brother write a post like that about me? But I wanted to kind of ask you, because it ended up on the Billboard. So can you tell us a little bit of the story? Did you think it was going to get that big and end up there? And how did that happen? How did they ask you before they put it there? Did they pay you for this? I don't know. Like,
honestly, I was not expecting it to be that far at all. And one of the things that I keep mentioning is, like, be yourself. Just be yourself when you're posting on LinkedIn. And when I have made this post, like, someone from, like, those people who share content on the Billboard on New York City reach out to me saying, oh, your content is really original. Can we just get it? Because it feels like you're not only on social media to trying to sell yourself or give technical content, but also we really like the human side of this content. What do you think about it? And I was like, okay, sure, why not? And then, yeah, that's how it ended up on the Billboard.
Oh, wow. Thank you. That's nice. That's nice. Like,
and there was no financially aspect on that, because what I got from it, I think can be more than getting paid for it because of the audience, extra audience that I got. And also some of the people reaching out to me, because sometimes when they saw the content, someone sent me a message, okay, I thought that you were a personal development like influencer, because when I saw that post, that's the first thing that came in my mind. But when I went through your profile, I saw that you are more like, it's not all about personal development, but creating content on data science and machine learning. And this diversity is something that they like the most, being able to share those and recognize other people's efforts.
Yeah, definitely.
Piqued my
I
interest, Melissa. I don't know the post you're talking about, so I have to go look in his profile to see.
Yes, you have to go look at it, the profile. Is his profile, I think I put his LinkedIn and you have put its LinkedIn too, but I
Yes.
can also share it, of course, I can share it on the Slack channel for our students so that they can see this post and really see how, I'm sure Zuma and I did not think that this was going to get that far with his post. And here he is,
Yes.
sharing this content. You did
Absolutely.
not know. I know,
And
like
there are so many like type of posts that we do not even expect how far it can go. That's the reason why I keep emphasizing of the benefit of posting. And sometimes don't even ask yourself how great your content is, because I think there is someone talking in the background. I'm gonna mute the person.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like whenever there is an idea that crosses your mind, just post about it, because there is no great time of posting something. Like a missing post can be a missed opportunity. If you wait to be ready to post something in about a month, then you might be missing opportunities for those coming into your network that might be worth going through those content and getting more insight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. Let me see. I have one last question. I think the question that I have is that if you're somebody like most of our students and people here are basically, trying to transition into the career of data analyst, data scientist, what would you be their advice, because they're just starting out or they're trying to figure it out. What would be your final advice to them on their journey? I've been myself trying to tell them to post on LinkedIn, post about their data camp, accomplishments. What would be your advice? Because you actually got jobs with no interviews. That's the kind of job I want.
I got so many jobs like this. People going through my Medium and be interested and say, okay, we love what you do, and what do you think about going to the next step? Like so many things happen like that. And
So
for
what should
people
our
getting
students do to get that jobs with no interview? That's what we want. Jobs with no interviews.
Well, maybe not start with job with no interview, probably gets interview first, but like it can happen. But my advice to those people getting into the field of data science is to learn the basics, because those difficult things are the combination of basics things. If you don't master the basics, even if you get an interview, sometimes some of the interview questions are just basic things. If you don't even master the basics, how you be able to go to the more difficult stuff? And when learning those basics, don't be afraid to share on LinkedIn. When you're learning something new, share on LinkedIn. And it's also a great way for you to do more research, because if you're sharing, like I mentioned in the introduction, when you're sharing something, be ready to answer any comments whatsoever. Share on your LinkedIn. If you are a technical person, have a GitHub repository where you can compile like all your work, so that you can always provide the link to your work, like from your work to that profile. And also by sharing those content on LinkedIn, it's also a great way to be open to, critics. Like people can be criticizing your content, and also like never take things personally, because that can be also a good way for you to keep up and also improving those areas where you think can be destroying your way of getting those opportunities. There are constructive comments on LinkedIn, but there are also some critiques that are not constructive at all. But don't take those things personally and keep growing. Reach out to people in your field of expertise so that they can give you more tips, more insights, because we don't have to learn from our mistakes. We can learn from other people's mistake. And this can be done from reaching out to people and learning from their expertise. And just stay consistent. Consistency is key. Honestly, that's the thing I keep emphasizing on. Be consistent and never be discouraged of learning new things. Yeah, that would be my takeaway.
Yeah, and in the last question about being consistent, how do you stay consistent when you're posting, for your posting? How? Any tips for the students? And I'll let
Well,
you go.
no problem. Being consistent comes from the work that you are doing. I like taking the example of technical people. When you're a technical person, you can share, like, you have to have in your mind that whatever you are sharing on social media is a delivery that you are giving to your potential manager. And being able to have that mindset is going to help you do more research. And the more research you have, the more information you'll have in your backlog. And the more information you have, you'll be able to iteratively posting about those contents. If you are learning, like getting into the data science classification models, for instance, you can have different machine learning models to making classification. And if you stick only, I will take the example of like logistic regression. There are many models beyond logistic regression, but you can do more research on those models. So if your initial thought was about logistic regression, then based on your research, you were able to collect a lot of information. Then you will not be limited only on logistic regression, but you will have enough data to provide more information on the near future as well.
Thank you so much. I think that this was
You're
such
welcome.
a wonderful fireside chat. I'm just so happy that you were able to come and join us and give your feedback. And we are your first content creator after fatherhood when you took your break. So we are really happy and grateful for your time. I'm gonna let Marlene close us out, and that will be it. We'll stop the recording.
Well,
Right. Thank you.
I just reiterate what Melissa said. Thank you so much for helping us to see how it's beneficial for us to be present on social media. And I encourage all the students to connect with Zamana. I posted his LinkedIn profile in the chat, and we can also post that again in our Slack channel. And thank you all for joining. And
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Zamana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Zumana.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you, Melissa,
Thank
Marlene.
you. Merci.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.